There's a guy in your town who quietly bought his third house in cash last year, and nobody at his job even knows he owns a business. It's not because he got a raise, won the lottery, or found some hot stock tip. He owns something boring, something most people drive past every single day without ever thinking twice about it. Today we're counting down 20 businesses so boring that Wall Street won't touch them, and if you only remember one of these, make it the last one, because it's the one that changes everything. I've spent years digging through small business filings, franchise disclosure documents, and local business listings looking for one thing: money that nobody's fighting over. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I just read a lot of boring paperwork so you don't have to. So today, 20 businesses, counting down, each one uglier and more overlooked than the last. Stick around, because the ones at the bottom of this list are the ones people are quietly getting rich from right now. Number 20, portable toilet rental. The portable sanitation industry in the US does somewhere between $2 billion and $2.5 billion a year, mostly from construction sites, festivals, and weddings nobody plans far enough in advance. You buy or lease the units, you rotate them between job sites and events on a set schedule, and you charge a flat weekly rate whether it rains or shines. Nobody wants to be the toilet guy, which is exactly why the guy who doesn't mind ends up with almost no competition and a route that renews itself every single year. Number 19, vending machines. A single well-placed snack machine can net a few $1,000s a year, and a route of 30 or 40 machines can quietly clear $60,000 to $90,000 a year in profit. You place the machine, you restock it on a schedule, and the location owner gets a small cut just for letting it sit in the corner of their break room. Nobody brags about owning vending machines at a dinner party, which is exactly why almost nobody's fighting you for the good locations. Number 18, billboard and sign space rental. A single roadside billboard on a busy stretch of highway can rent for $1,000 to $4,000 a month, and once it's built, the same sign can be leased out for decades. You lease a small patch of land, you put up the structure once, and then you collect rent from local businesses that need eyeballs on the highway. Most people assume billboards belong to giant ad companies, so they never even think to check if a small stretch of local highway is available. Notice something here. None of these first three businesses require an invention, a patent, or a single line of code. They require showing up, doing the unglamorous part, and collecting the same payment month after month after month. Number 17, ice vending machines. A single automated ice machine outside a gas station can generate $30,000 to $70,000 a year, selling bagged ice for a few dollars a pop, 24 hours a day, with almost no labor. The machine makes its own ice, bags it, and sells it. You just show up once a week to check the compressor and collect the coins. It's not exciting enough to attract investors looking for the next big app, so the guy with one machine in the right parking lot just keeps quietly winning. Number 16, locksmith services. A single mobile locksmith can bill $75 to $200 per emergency call-out, and a two-van operation can clear $150,000 to $250,000 a year in a mid-sized city. People only call a locksmith when they're locked out, panicked, and willing to pay whatever the quote is, which is exactly why the margins stay high. It requires a trade skill most people never bother learning, which keeps the field thin and the pricing power squarely with the person who did. Number 15, gutter cleaning. A two-person crew can clean 12 to 15 houses a day at $150 to $300 a job, twice a year in most residential neighborhoods. It's a 2-hour job with a ladder and a leaf blower, and almost every homeowner in a leafy neighborhood needs it done twice a year, whether they admit it or not. Nobody's raising venture capital to disrupt gutters, which means the local guy with a truck and a ladder owns the entire neighborhood. Number 14, fence installation and repair. A residential fence job typically runs $2,500 to $8,000, and a small crew can complete 2 to 3 jobs a week during the busy season. Material costs are simple. The work is physical rather than technical, and repeat referrals from happy neighbors keep the phone ringing without a single ad. It's dirty, physical work in the sun, and that alone scares off most of the competition before it even starts. Notice something here. Every business so far involves dirt, sweat, or something people are mildly embarrassed to ask about. That discomfort is not a warning sign, it's the entry fee that keeps everyone else out. Number 13. Pressure washing services. A driveway or house wash typically sells for $150 to $600, and a single operator with a trailer rig can book 4 to 6 jobs a day during the season. The equipment is a single upfront purchase, the jobs take under an hour, and the visible before and after result sells the next customer for you. Almost nobody wants to spend a Saturday hauling hoses around, so the person who doesn't mind ends up with a full calendar and almost no marketing budget. Number 12. Junk removal. A single pickup truck load hauled to the dump can be billed at $100 to $400, and a 2-truck operation can gross $300,000 to $500,000 a year. You quote a flat price on the spot, load the truck, and drive it to the dump. No specialized license, no storefront, no inventory. It looks like manual labor, so most people never think to ask what the actual margins look like. Number 11, and I'll keep this one short, roll-off dumpster rental. Buy the steel bins once, rent them out for $300 to $600 a week to contractors and homeowners doing renovations, and let them sit there earning while you sleep. Number 10. Pest control. The residential pest control market runs somewhere between $10 billion and $15 billion a year in the US alone, driven almost entirely by quarterly service contracts. You sign a homeowner up for a quarterly spray, and that same customer keeps paying you 4 times a year for as long as they own the house. Nobody wants to talk about bugs at a dinner party, but almost every homeowner will happily pay someone else to make the problem disappear quietly. Notice something here. We just crossed into recurring contracts, and that's when the math starts changing completely. One sale, paid for 4 times a year for years, that's not a job anymore, that's a small annuity you built yourself. Number 9. Self-storage facilities. A small self-storage facility with 80 to 100 units can generate $150,000 to $300,000 a year, with almost no staff once the property is built. Tenants pay every month, they rarely move their stuff out once it's in, and the entire operation can run from a laptop and a lock-cutting appointment twice a year. It requires real estate and patience instead of hustle, which quietly filters out almost everyone chasing a quick win. Number 8. Self-serve car wash bays. A 4-bay coin-operated wash can bring in $80,000 to $150,000 a year in quarters and card swipes, with no employee standing there to collect them. Customers do all the labor themselves, the machines collect the money automatically, and your job is basically maintenance and restocking soap once a week. It's concrete and steel sitting in a parking lot. Nothing about it says opportunity, which is exactly why so few people ever look twice. Number 7. Commercial cleaning contracts. A single small office cleaning contract might pay $800 to $2,000 a month, and a company managing 30 contracts can clear $400,000 to $700,000 a year. You sign a contract, you send a crew after hours, and the same building pays you every single month without you ever having to re-pitch the job. It's invisible work done after everyone's gone home, so nobody's competing for the glory, they're only competing for the contract, and most people never even bid. Number 6. Uniform and linen rental services. Restaurants and small clinics pay $200 to $600 a month just to have someone else wash and swap their towels, aprons and uniforms on a schedule. You drop off clean, you pick up dirty, and the client never has to think about laundry again. A business owner will pay almost anything to remove one more chore from their plate. It sounds like doing laundry for a living, and that mental image alone keeps almost everyone from ever running the numbers. Notice something here. From 10 down to 6, every single business removed a chore somebody else didn't want to deal with and got paid monthly for it. That's the whole game. Find the chore, remove the chore, get paid to keep removing it. Number 5. Parking lot striping and management. Repainting the lines on a mid-sized commercial parking lot runs $1,500 to $5,000, and most property managers rebook the exact same vendor every single year without shopping around. The equipment is a striping machine and some paint. The job is done overnight while the lot is empty, and the same client calls you again next year automatically. Nobody thinks about who paints parking lines until theirs fade, and by then they've usually just called the same person from last year. Number 4. Septic tank pumping. Homeowners on a septic system pay $300 to $600 every 3 to 5 years to have their tank pumped, and there's no substitute service to shop around for. It's not glamorous, it's not something anyone wants to talk about at a barbecue, but it is completely non-negotiable if you live outside city sewer lines. There is almost no competition rushing toward a business built entirely around what's underground, and that's precisely the point. Number 3. Mobile home park ownership. A small 40-lot mobile home park, charging $300 to $500 in monthly lot rent, can generate $150,000 to $200,000 a year, often without owning a single one of the homes themselves. You own the land and the utilities underneath it. The residents own their own homes, and moving a home is expensive enough that almost nobody ever leaves once they've settled in. The name alone carries a stigma that scares off most investors, which is exactly why the actual numbers rarely get looked at honestly. Number 2. ATM routes. A single machine in a busy bar or convenience store can earn $500 to $1,500 a month in surcharge fees, and a route of 15 machines can quietly clear $100,000 to $200,000 a year. You place the machine, keep it stocked with cash, and collect a few dollars every time someone's too impatient to find their own bank. Most people assume ATMs belong to the big banks, so it never even occurs to them that anyone can own one and place it themselves. Notice something here, right before number 1. Every business on this list so far shares the same 3 ingredients: low glamour, high friction to start, and a customer who has to come back. If Wall Street can't scale it into $100 million roll-up by next quarter, it doesn't get a headline, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get rich. And that brings us to number 1, the most boring, most overlooked, and honestly the most proven business on this entire list: the neighborhood laundromat. A well-located laundromat with 30 to 40 machines can generate $80,000 to $150,000 a year in pure cash flow, almost entirely in coins and card swipes, with a part-time attendant at most. Every renter without a washer and dryer at home needs this business every single week, in every economy, whether the market's up or the market's crashing. No inventory to restock, no employees demanding a schedule, no office to lease and decorate, just machines, water, and people who genuinely need clean clothes. It's the single least exciting business you could describe at a party, and that's exactly why the person who buys one tends to keep it for 30 years. Let me tell you about Daniel and Ryan. Same age, 29, same starting savings of $40,000, same year. Daniel put his $40,000 into a friend's crypto trading fund that promised to double it in 18 months. Ryan used his $40,000 as a down payment on a small, tired-looking laundromat 2 towns over that the previous owner just wanted to retire from. 14 months later, Daniel's fund froze withdrawals, then quietly shut down, and he never saw a cent of that $40,000 again. In that same 14 months, Ryan's laundromat had paid off its own down payment, covered his rent, and put $9,000 in his savings account, just from quarters and card swipes, one load at a time. Same starting point, same year, same amount of money. One chased excitement and one chased boring, and boring is the one still standing. Real wealth was never about finding the one exciting thing nobody else has discovered yet. It was always about finding the thing so unglamorous that almost nobody else was willing to compete for it, and doing that thing consistently for longer than everyone else was willing to. If one of these 20 stood out to you, tell me which number it was in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more of the boring businesses nobody's talking about, hit subscribe. I put a new one of these out every week.